For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Bedford, welcome to the Phil Paleologus Show. With updates and breaking news from the WBSM newsroom and on the WBSM app. And your calls and conversation at 508-996-0500. Here he is, New Bedford's #1 talk show host, WBSM's Morning Mayor, Phil Paleologus.
Good morning, Phil and I welcoming you to another day in Radioland. Nice to see your smiling face. I don't know how you can be smiling. I saw a blurb that you wrote last night at, I think it said 11:25. I thought it said, no, we have two Phils who do the same.
Oh, yeah, up late.
Late. Oh, my gosh.
And early. We don't want to miss anything. That's, I guess, what it comes down to.
I know
right?
it. I know it. That's the joy of a job like yours, right? There's so many things going on.
And, you look at it from a listener perspective. We're up late and we're up early, so you don't have to be. Although, if you're listening, you're up early with us, I guess.
Love it.
Right?
Love it, yeah.
That's it.
You know what? Sometime I'd love to pick your brain about how do you go about choosing the stories that you only have a certain amount of time. You have to, obviously, that's a talent, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the old Jerry Seinfeld joke? Isn't it amazing how all the day's news just exactly fits the newspaper every day? Yeah. That one always comes to mind.
Never heard that one. That's good.
Yeah, it might have been Jerry. I think it was Jerry. But yeah, you try to funnel through everything and say, all right, what is going to have the biggest impact on the widest number of people, and you go from there.
Good Rubicon there.
That's it.
Absolutely. Phil, we're going to take a very quick phone call before John LeBoutelier joins us, and caller, that is you. Hello? Hello? They're still trying to get on. All right. We'll do you in just a little while. Phil, thank you. Before we say hi to John, I just want to remind you that now as grandparents, our grandchildren go through a whole lot of stress in school. And sometimes it's acne, sometimes it's other things, other skin disorders. And AP Coastal Dermatology has been helping so many families. They specialize in dermatology for the whole family. And that includes medical dermatology, Mohs surgery, and ladies, yes, cosmetic dermatology as well. Exceptional care, exceptional service at AP Derm Coastal Dermatology in Westport. There where Alhambra's once was. Don't wait to make an appointment. Others may not be able to see you soon enough. They can at apderm.com. Just go to apderm, DERM.com. Truly for the health and beauty of your skin and for the grandchildren. You'll love Dr. Deborah Chappelle. I absolutely love her.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app.
11 minutes past the hour.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app. Paleologus.
But I want to remind you that the Butcher Shop has lots and lots of great specials. I'll tell you what, if you are a fan of Mozambique shrimp or Mozambique chicken, how about a nice, almost like a rice bowl. But there on the bottom, some fresh Portuguese-style rice, and then on top, lots of the juice to go with the shrimp or the chicken, and Laura's Portuguese pop to sop up all of that delicious taste from the butcher shop. They have so many things there. It's a wonderful business. Please patronize it. The Butcher Shop. We'll be right back with John LeBoulier.
1420 WBSM is now also on 99.5 FM.
Hello, I'm Jose Hernandez, and I have been using a wheelchair since my accident in 1995.
My name is Andrea Delzell, and I've been using a wheelchair since I was 5 years old.
I guess if I had one message for the general public, it would be that I appreciate your help. But please, ask first.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that I've actually got everything under control.
I think people get nervous. They don't know how to act, so they pretend I'm not there.
What probably bothers me the most is when waiters talk to my companion and not directly to me.
I think everyone with a disability can relate to that parking spot problem.
We know you're just parking in that disabled spot for a second, but please, don't. We're just looking for the same respect and consideration as everyone else.
United Spinal Association is dedicated to enhancing the quality of life of people living with spinal cord injuries and disorders. Download our disability etiquette booklet at unitedspinal.org.
This time next week, I'll be sick in bed with West Nile virus, thanks to a mosquito bite right in front of my house.
In 8 minutes, my daughter will be in an ambulance, having an asthma attack, triggered by cockroaches.
I'm going to be bitten by a tick today. I won't even know it until Lyme disease turns my life upside down.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
Good morning. It's 8:15, and John, if they only could hear the conversation. Oh, my goodness. Oops.
Oh, it's really bad.
Oh, we have to vent sometime. John, good morning. Welcome. Are you still...
Thank you, Bill. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Are you still caring for those apostates who come around your home from around the neighborhood waiting for food, sustenance, and
Got
nurturing?
my 4 cats out there. Yeah, I already fed them early this morning.
That's so cool. These are wild.
Pick a couple of them up, and not a lot, but they're 2 of them let me touch them and pick them up because when they were tiny little kittens, their mother, and I don't mean to criticize her, but I have to, she, for some reason one day, took her kittens and put them in the engine of my pickup truck.
Really?
And I drove off and found them. And we got 2 of them out in my hands and arms and brought them into the house because I didn't know what to do with them. And those 2, I only had them for a few hours. Then the mother came back around and I put them out. She took them away and everything's fine. So, but just those couple of hours sitting in this room with me, one of them in my lap, overcame any fear about being around me. And so those 2 I can pick up. The other one, there were 3 kittens. The other one stays away from me, and the mother stays away from me because last year I trapped all 4 of them and had them spayed by a vet and get their shots and everything, and then brought them back here. So we've had a complicated history.
I remember when you did that.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it because I don't have more than 4 kittens. Otherwise, there'd be another litter here.
And Plumlee?
She's great.
Good.
Sends her best.
Likewise. A couple of things I wanted to touch upon, and one is the Michigan State University gunman. They're trying to figure out what would, push somebody to gun down innocent people. Have you thought about this at all?
Yeah, of course I have. Well, they can't have a motive that they can figure out. He didn't go to the school. His mother died last year, and his father says that this boy, he's 43, so he's not a boy anymore, but that his son deteriorated terribly after the mother died. And started shooting guns out the window and all sorts of stuff, and then did this thing. So what if we just say not every crime has a logical motive to it. That this is clearly a distraught man, mentally ill, who, if he didn't have a gun, wouldn't have killed 3 people and terribly wounded 5 others.
Why? How can you say that?
It's the marriage of the mental illness and the gun that have caused this problem.
Well, how about a knife? I mean, if he had a knife...
It could be a knife, but there aren't many knife attacks like there are gun attacks. Mm-hmm. I mean, my God, we've had, 65 mass shootings in America in the first 6 weeks of the year. But, yeah, I mean, a knife could do it. But a knife, it's a little harder to kill 9 people with a knife. I suppose you can do it if you want, and maybe people will. But right now the choice of weapon is the gun. I don't think I don't think you and I ought to be defending the right to have a gun anymore. Some people have a right, but not mentally ill people. They don't have a right to have a gun.
Of course they don't. Of course not. But don't you dare touch the Second Amendment.
Well, let's not get into that, because that's misunderstood, and we're beyond that. But it doesn't... The problem with talking about the Second Amendment is, why does the right to have a weapon include weapons of war? Why should a criminal have the same weapon that the cop has? I don't, and it's the assault weapon. What do people need that for? They don't need that to defend themselves.
So you're just talking about certain guns. Are you talking about all guns?
No, I'm talking about weapons of war. Anything that would be issued to soldiers in the Army, machine guns, semi-automatic rifles, that type of stuff. I just don't see why a Joe Sixpack needs that gun in America. I don't think those things ought to be sold. I think there ought to be background checks on everybody before they can buy any gun. Mm-hmm. And then if you pass the background check, then great, you can buy, pistols, shotguns, stuff like that, but not weapons that are used in the Army. That's too much.
So are you looking for more gun control laws to be enacted?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're not following the ones now.
No, that's not true. If you call, you're right, they're not. But if you call background checks gun control, then I'm for background checks, and I'm for that kind of gun control.
I think that's reasonable. Of course.
Yeah.
Well,
and
course.
3/4 of the NRA membership favors background checks. So, and those are the most, passionate gun owners in America are the NRA folks, and they believe in background checks. And yet we don't have it. We don't have it. We don't have a proper background check, which isn't going to be foolproof. And criminals don't obey the law. But a lot of these young guys who do the shootings, the 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they shouldn't be having those guns. They shouldn't have them. The guy that killed all the black people in the supermarket in Buffalo last spring, he was off his rocker. I think he was 19. And he had, 2 AR-15s. That should not happen. Shouldn't happen.
This shouldn't happen, but why? We live in a free society. It happens.
That free society means it's a two-way street, You're not free to do anything you want in a free society.
Right.
And you can't get in your car and drive around without insurance and a license. You're not free to do that. You've had to pass a driver's test. You've had to pay for insurance. But a gun, I don't have to have a license. I don't have to have insurance. I don't have to have anything in most of this country. I just go into a gun store and buy one or two and boxes of ammo and head out. And it's a bit much. It's too free. How about that? It's too free.
But, gun ownership has always been as much of a tradition in this country than our Constitution is. So, I hope you're not saying to take a look at the Second Amendment, are you?
No, but it's the definition of what gun people can have. What's next? I can now have an AR-15. Can I go out and buy a shoulder-launched anti-aircraft missile? A Stinger? Am I allowed to have that in my backyard?
Okay. So what are you proposing, Congressman?
Assault weapons ban. We used to have it. We ought to put it back in. Those weapons do not need to be owned by private citizens.
And you think that's going to deter crime from the criminals, from the nuts out there? You think that's the answer?
I'm trying to do what I said at the beginning. I want to decouple the mentally ill nutbag like Mr. McRae and the worst weapon that would kill the most people. Can't prevent him from having a pistol, can't prevent him from having a knife, as you raised. But the odds are, if that guy wanted to go kill, and what did he shoot? 8 people he shot. Would he have been able to go into Michigan State into 2 buildings and stab 8 people? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Are you a hunter, by the way? Do you have you? No. Okay. That explains part of it.
And you don't use an AR-15 to hunt.
Who are you to tell them? John, who are you to tell them that you don't use this? I mean, come on.
I'm telling you right now, no sport hunter uses a weapon like that. It's a mismatch.
You know how many sports
aim the thing.
There's millions of hunters in America. Of course they do.
Phil, listen very carefully to my words. You go crazy before I even say it. I said no sport hunter needs to use an AR-15 to hunt. That's not, you use a shotgun or a long rifle. You don't need a semi-automatic rifle to shoot a deer. You don't need it. And if you want to go blast the deer with 30 shots, that's not hunting. That's slaughter.
Listen, we're not talking about deer hunting. There are sportsmen.
Well, what other kind of hunting? Well, what other hunting is there? Shooting birds and they're shooting deer, and that's about it. Yeah, they have bear hunts in certain places, and you don't use an AR-15 for that either.
So what about the coyotes?
AR-15 is to use in Vietnam on the Viet Cong, all right? Not in the woods against an animal.
Well, first of all,
a mismatch.
They're not assault weapons, first of all, because you have to pull the trigger every time a bullet comes out. But to your point, John,
they easily get adapted to not be one bullet, one shot. A bump stock, and you're firing off multiple shots.
So there you go. So the criminals will get around it, while the lawful hunter will be penalized by the John LeBoutelier law of the month. No, I don't. You're not going to prevent me from protecting my family, I hope. If I have an AR-15, I hope you're not going to say...
I don't want you to have an AR-15. You shouldn't have one.
Now, when you say
you don't need one to protect your family, you don't need it. That's why I say if you're going to defend having an AR-15, and we used to ban them, and there was no problem with banning them, right? But if you want to have that, then can I go to the next step then? I want to have an anti-aircraft missile in my backyard to protect my family.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, how far are you going to go?
I stay within
I want to have a tank.
I stay within the realm of really what is happening here, and that is that those, what you call assault rifles, are so popular. Those are the ones that are mostly used, for marksmanship. In competitions. You got to get off Long Island and take a look at the rest of this country.
Okay, you want to attack me, go ahead. So you've taken this position today, which is out of whack with the majority of Americans.
Or with Pew Research, or with
I don't know
folks.
what Pew Research says. The public doesn't need AR-15s and shouldn't have them. And most people who have them don't know their ass from their elbow about gun safety or anything to do with them.
How do you know?
Shouldn't have them. They shouldn't have them.
How do you know? You're making these remarks. You have nothing to back that up with. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't need anything to back it up. They don't need those guns, and they shouldn't have them. And I'm trying, as a country, to take these mentally ill people and keep them from getting their hands on these weapons. And I definitely think you raise the age of buying them. 18-year-olds should not be able to get these guns. Yeah, maybe raising it to 21 is good. I'd raise it higher. They're not ready to have these weapons. Clearly, look at how many shootings last year were disaffected young men with AR-15s, blasting away, killing multiple dozens of people.
And how
do you defend that?
Those are the rifles that are most used in competitions, in killing coyotes on farms.
Competition is a different thing. That is not hunting. Competition, you go down to a rifle range, they take it out of the cabinet, everybody gets a gun, you line up, you shoot the targets, and you put it back in the cabinet. That is not walking around like Kyle Rittenhouse with guns draped over your shoulder, blasting people.
Well, I'm confused now. You're saying it's okay to have one of these rifles for competition, but not for hunting?
Yeah, but well, first of all, no proper hunter is using that gun. It's not sport when you're blowing away an animal with 30 shots.
We'll have to continue this for sure. We'll have to continue, John, on Friday. But, boy, do we come from different directions on this one.
Yeah, well, I'm with the majority of Americans, and you're, as usual, off on the extreme.
Well,
with Roy
extreme.
Moore
Here comes the personal attacks. All right.
You already dumped on me. You dumped on me. You said I got to get off of Long Island. There are many hunters on Long Island. There are many gun owners on Long Island.
Only because there's more country out there. Yeah.
A weapon of war.
According to John.
They don't need it.
All right. And according to John, we don't need large cars. We don't need gas stoves. And what else don't?
I didn't say any of that. You see, that's just stupid arguments.
All right.
You can't argue the facts.
I am El Stupido, and you are Mr. Smart, and we will continue on Friday, and I love you nonetheless.
You're right. You're right. Talk to you Friday.
Bye.
And Plumlee agrees with me.
That was a sneaky sneak. I'll talk to you Friday.
Talk to you Friday.
Bye-bye. There we go into the newsroom. Phil, good morning. Take it away, buddy.
Good morning. A candlelight vigil will be held tonight for the students who were killed in Monday's mass shooting at Michigan State University. 3 students were shot to death and at least 5 others injured Monday when a 43-year-old gunman went on a rampage at the university. The gunman eluded authorities for hours and then killed himself when confronted by police. An alarming amount of animals are dying in areas near the Ohio train derailment. Taylor Holzer, a fox keeper just outside the evacuation zone, says his foxes are not well. Some have even died, and he blames the trail derailment.
Smoke and chemicals from the train, it's the only thing that could cause it because it doesn't just happen out of nowhere. The chemicals that we're being told are safe in the air, that's definitely not safe.
Officials with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources said almost 4,000 dead fish were counted in 4 nearby waterways from East Palestine. The train derailed February 3rd near the Pennsylvania border. The EPA says 3 new chemicals have been discovered at the site. The chemicals can irritate a person's nose and throat, which can lead to coughing, dizziness, or worse. The EPA is monitoring the situation. Filming is set to resume this spring on the Alec Baldwin movie Rust. The Hollywood Reporter says the film will restart production with a mix of new and old crew members. This comes after Baldwin was charged in New Mexico with involuntary manslaughter for firing a prop gun that contained a live round, killing a cinematographer. A lawyer for former President Trump is being compelled to give testimony to a grand jury about classified documents found at Trump's Florida home. The New York Times reports Justice Department prosecutors are trying to get around attorney-client privilege claims from lawyer Evan Corcoran by suggesting his legal advice may have been used to help carry out a crime. Corcoran was involved in delivering some of the classified documents that were found last year. A Trump spokesperson is calling the special counsel investigation a politically motivated witch hunt. A Senate panel is holding a hearing on the threats children face online.
The American consumer is virtually unprotected from the adverse effects of social media. That needs to, and I think will change.
Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina said there's a mental health crisis stemming from the use of social media, particularly among young girls, and he called for a regulatory body to empower parents and consumers. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Dick Durbin added the online exploitation of children is an urgent and growing threat, as nearly half of American teens report being harassed or being bullied online. Netflix's Surprise Me button is gone. A company spokeswoman said on Tuesday the streaming giant discontinued the feature last month because not many people were using it. Netflix introduced the feature in 2021 so people wouldn't have to choose something to watch from thousands of titles. The company found out the users come to Netflix with specific shows, movies, or genres in mind, making the button mostly useless. The CEO of Goldman Sachs is slightly more optimistic about the state of the economy. Mark Mayfield with more.
David Solomon told investors at a conference in Miami the chances the economy can avoid a deep recession this year are improving. He said the chance of a so-called softer landing feels better now than it felt 6 to 9 months ago. His remarks came before the release of the latest inflation data. The consumer price index rose by 0.5% in January, above what economists had predicted. The year-over-year number rose by 6.4%. I'm Mark Mayfield.
And the Boss will be in concert at Gillette Stadium in late August. Mark your calendars. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band performing on August 24th. Tickets for the Foxborough show go on sale February 27th through Ticketmaster, and this will be one of 18 new cities added to the 2023 tour. Other stops include Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Phoenix. In sports, David Pastrnak did his thing in Dallas last night as the Bruins came back to beat the Stars 3-2 in overtime. The Celtics' 4-game winning streak came to an end after they fell to the Milwaukee Bucks in overtime, but they still lead the NBA at 41-17 and host the Detroit Pistons tonight. Now we check your morning forecast with ABC6.
Clouds this morning giving way to sunshine this afternoon. It will get windy out of the south and temperatures will climb to the middle 50s. Overnight tonight, dropping down to 45. And then we've got clouds and sun for Thursday with showers coming in late in the day. Evening rain developing, high near 62. From the ABC6 Weather Center, I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Nick Morganelli on New Bedford's News Talk Station, 1420 WBSM.
43 degrees in New Bedford at 8:37 a.m. I'm Phil Devitt for WBSM News. Stay up to date with New Bedford's News Talk Station, WBSM, and get breaking news alerts with the WBSM app.
Good morning, everybody. 8:37. Sometimes John and I don't agree on issues, but we do agree on one thing. That's the beauty of the hot chocolate at Sunrise Bakery. We are on the same team when it comes to that and the lattes, those muffins. How many of you can now smell the aroma of that lemon poppy seed? And if you have the chance to grill it, get a little caramelization going on it, they not only have that, but carrot cake, cheesecake. They bake the most delicious pastries, and they have the donuts that are just gorgeous and so delicious, and I just love everything at Sunrise Bakery. Folks, when you have a chance, drop by. Talk about loyal sponsors. You're seeing one there with Sunrise. Truly, such a productive little business in a community that gives back so much. They're great people. They make great products. Why don't you go on by Sunrise Bakery and Coffee Shops, 2 locations, Bolton Street, their original, and of course, Dartmouth Street.
Take the Morning Mayor wherever you go. Download the WBSM app.
To the phone lines we go at 996-0500. Good morning.
Call back.
Okay.
Hey, the British said we didn't need the guns either, and you see how that turned out, right?
How did that turn out?
I don't know how that turned out. It turned out pretty good for us. But like my point, he put you in part of the dumb campaign like me. That's one of the smart politicians. That's what they want to do. So,
well,
that was just my point.
Okay, here's my point. Gun control laws will not stop some crazy or these gangs from obtaining the guns that are outlawed or the guns that break the laws or any other kind of gun. If they want the gun, they're going to get the type of gun they want, while the legal hunter, the regular everyday person, gets penalized.
Not just that, I can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and I can buy anything that I need to make a gun. We have the technology. You can make any type of in any shop. You can make any. You can make it.
Yep.
It's not that hard now. We're not living back in the days with blacksmiths. We got 3D printers that are printing ghost guns.
Oh, I know it. Yeah. So we agree.
Like the British.
And no law ever stops, or no confiscation ever stops somebody from getting the gun that is illegal, so to speak, and go on and produce tragedies.
Yeah,
so, give me a break here with the way they reason things.
And that's the case. They got to get rid of alcohol. Alcohol, so many people die from alcoholism, died from car crashes, innocence from people being drunk. Me personally, I was in a foster home and abused by, my father was alcoholic, and that's why I was in a foster home, because abused. Alcohol is no good. I don't drink alcohol. I don't like alcohol. So alcohol should be banned.
I'm sorry to hear that. Did you have a rough time growing up?
A little bit.
Yeah.
But God's here, and this is just the beginning. You know.
Yep. Listen. I hear you loud and clear, buddy.
But yeah, my campaign, I think I'm going to use that. 9th grade dropout. Smartest one in the bunch.
You know what?
I never been indoctrinated by none of these things. I lived basically on the streets of New Bedford.
All right. Just do me a favor. Don't listen to Alex Jones radio, okay? I've got to run.
Have a good day, Phil.
Bye. Yeah, everyone has a story, right? The other thing I really don't like is when government overreaches into our private lives. I don't like that. Do you want government overreaching? And I feel that gun control laws give too much power to government. Gun control laws, I think, results in government just taking away whatever they wish from citizens. It gives them too much power. All right? 996-0500. Hello there.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there.
That's good. I got a song for you to play for John LaBute. It's by Justin Moore, called Guns. I'd like you to play that.
Repeat that one more time. What is it?
It's a song by Justin Moore. It's a country song called Guns.
Guns.
Play that one for him. It's a good song.
It is?
Yes.
I think I'm going to send him an album from...
Yeah, actually, Justin Moore's got a lot of NRA stuff. He supports guns, but believe me, we all need guns that are capable to have them. I believe that people with mental illness and stuff should be regulated. I have mental illness. I no longer have my guns, but You know,
why were they taken away from you? What happened?
Well, it wasn't because of the mental illness. It was all over an argument with my ex-girlfriend, my daughter's mom, and I called her the B word, and you know, they called that verbal abuse, and I lost my firearms permits and, you know, transferred my guns to friends of mine that have licenses and stuff. They came to take them. I was like, you ain't taking them. But, you know, it was legal. I mean, I got rid of them legally. They signed them, or I signed them over to a friend of mine and have them for the price I paid for them and stuff, and that was it, you know. But the whole point is that when somebody breaks into your house, you know what I mean, and there's like 7 or 8 of them with guns, like say the cartel nowadays down in Texas and stuff, robbing people and all that, you're going to want a little gun that has like, you know, 5 shots or 6 shots. No, you're going to want that 30-round clip then, especially you, John. You'll want it, believe me. You're living in New York. I wish you lived in the real part of New York and not in the little rich zone.
Unbelievable. Thank you. What's your first name?
You should play that song for him, though. Again, Justin Moore, Guns.
Justin
really
Moore.
Good song.
All right, my friend.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much for joining us. 996-0500. Come on, let's talk about this. Good morning.
Good morning, Phil.
Hello there.
Your friend John is, he's come unhinged, thin-skinned, unhinged. And an AR-15 is not a military assault weapon.
Right.
I don't know what planet he's on.
Right.
An M16 is a military weapon.
Right.
So, you know, if it was for John, he'd take all your rights away. He wants to, little by little, like you said, take away your gas stove, your gasoline-powered automobile, or your diesel pickup truck. It's up to him. Why doesn't your buddy John talk about Mexican cartels and the gun runners that are bringing military weapons over our border, and they're creating havoc all over the bordering states?
It's funny you should mention that, because Mexico has some of the strictest gun control laws in the world. All right? You look and see how many people have been murdered and how many homicides and whatnot. So strict gun control laws don't work in Mexico. And you know what? This is just the fact of life. But
when he talks about facts, you know something, Phil? You hit him with the facts, and then he, because you said he needs to get off Long Island, he took that as an insult. I mean, come on. That guy's irrational. But the violence that's breaking out on, whether it's in Texas, Arizona, California, they're coming over with assault weapons, terrorizing Americans, and he's not for taking away those weapons off the street, but he wants to take it away from law-abiding citizens. Like I said, I think you need to bring your friend LeBoot to a psychologist. I think he's all wrapped up.
Well, to his defense, there's 2 primary opposing ideologies in the United States, and he obviously has adopted one. The other one I would adopt, all right? That, it's no longer gun control. You know what it is? It's gun politics. That's what it comes down to. Gun politics within American politics.
And it's not guns that kill, it's people that kill now. Phil Devitt, first of all.
Hold on.
Let me say he's a pro.
Yes, he is.
And he's had a news story about 2017, a man killed his mother with a log from the fireplace.
Yes.
And then, Nancy Pelosi's husband was assaulted by an intruder with a hammer.
Right. Listen, I've got to run. I'm so behind. Always great to hear from you.
Well, you have a good day, Phil.
Thank you, my
friend.
friend.
You and your listeners.
Thank you.
And I'll continue praying for Big Al.
Hey, thank you. Yes, thank you so much. All right.
The Bill Paleologos Show.
Talk.
Breaking news.
Tax refund shock is everywhere, but what is it?
My tax refund shrank.
Mine too. The culprit? Pandemic-related stimulus payments and tax credits expiring. In this reporter's opinion, you need a tax expert.
Hey guys, Jackson Hewitt guarantees your biggest refund.
And tax prep is 50% off? Going there now.
50% off is a limited time offer for new clients filing at participating locations. Max value $200. Visit jacksonhewitt.com/50 for terms.
This hour of the Phil Paleologos Show is brought to you by Flagship Insurance. The talk continues now on New Bedford's news talk station, 1420 WBSM.
Oh, wow. I'm at the end of my show, but you have Tim coming up and Barry and Howie will be with me tomorrow. In the meanwhile, I'll try to get as many in as possible. And that starts with you. Good morning.
All right, I'll try to go fast. Phil, I don't know what went on with you and your little Valentine last night, but you came in feisty this morning.
I did.
You stood up to the boot, and that's the only way we can suffer through him is when you're able to stick it to him.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
All right.
He brings no facts, and he wants to act so smart, and you were letting him know, no, an AR-15 is not going to be, and he couldn't handle the truth.
Well, let me tell you, last night was awesome. It was.
It sounds as though it was.
Hey, listen, thank you so much.
Okay, Phil.
Thank you. I love
Good
it.
job.
Bye. How about you? Good morning.
Good morning, young man. So
very quickly,
the WBSM world gets Phil, Philip, and Philly Mac. They're Phil this morning.
That's a goodie. I got to run. Hi. Hello there.
Well, good morning, Your Honor.
Well, good morning, Norm.
Hi. I want to go back before all the commercials. You had that gentleman on. I never catch his name, but I figure I got to nickname him The Shadow, because like that radio show, only The Shadow knows. But I like that gentleman. He always makes a lot of sense. But the AR-15, I believe them initials stands for Alumilite rifle.
That's
and
right.
it was probably made to be a lighter weight
That's
rifle.
correct.
It's no different than a rifle with a wooden stock.
That's right. It doesn't stand for automatic. That's right.
No, it's Alumilite rifle model number 15.
I've got to hold you right there, my buddy, because I have 30 seconds. And the last 30 go to you, caller.
Yeah, hi, Phil.
Hi.
That gentleman you were talking to, John, that guy is all washed up. I mean, I'm 68 years old. I've had a gun since I was 12, okay?
Yeah.
My gun has never turned around and left my home on its own and shoot anybody or anything. He will pick a weapon of his choice. I don't care if it's a...
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.